No. All right. So if we're looking at finance review, we're talking about percentages, like increasing and decreasing by percentages, how much a percentage is, all that sort of stuff, because all your loans are based on percentage rates. If you get a mortgage, you get a percentage interest, okay? If you get a car, you get interest put on it. It's always percentages. So this sort of topic, I think, personally, is the most important topic you're going to learn in 2CD. Why do you think that is? It's relevant. It's real life. You guys are all going to be buying cars at the moment, okay, or soon or in the next few years. You want to make sure that you get a good deal, okay? You want to make sure that you're not ripped off, okay? Also, you're going to go out and you might be renting houses and stuff next year, and you might go, I want to buy a TV, but I don't have any money, okay? You might go and get some of those interest-free deals. I want to teach you about how to actually pick the right ones with those sort of deals where you're not going to get ripped off later. I want to show you about credit cards because you're going to get credit cards soon, okay? How credit cards work and how you guys can make sure that you use a credit card. I'm not saying don't ever get a credit card, but that you can use a credit card and you're not going to get messed up with it, okay? That you're not suddenly going to get into massive debt which you can't get yourself out of. So this topic, I think, is the most important topic for you guys, okay? So, but the basics are a bit boring to start with because we need to know about them, okay? So let's start with really simple stuff, year 8 stuff, okay? Converting. All right, so if we need to convert a percentage to a decimal, which is what we need to do the most, percentage to a decimal. What is, Josh, 23% as a decimal? Perfect. What is 156% as a decimal? Jordan? 1.56. What is 0.8% as a decimal? Nick? As a decimal, so without a percentage sign, but with a decimal point in it. Close? Good, 0.008. Okay, what is 7% as a decimal? Perfect. All right, so what have we actually done to do this? Quinton, what have we done to change from the percentage to the decimal? Say it again. So instead of timesing, what could we do? We could divide by how much? 100. We divide by 100 each time. So to get from a percentage to a decimal, we divide by 100. What's a good way of thinking about doing this without saying divide by 100? We just do what, Zen? Good. We move the decimal place. And from now on, I'm going to write DP for decimal place. Okay. We move decimal place. How many spots? 2 places to the left. So if you ever get stuck, Zen, move down there. Because I said, no talking, we've got heaps to do. We always move the decimal place 2 places to the left. Any questions? Pretty easy? Yes, we need to do this all the time, so this should be second nature to you. You should just straight away know what the percentage is to a decimal, okay? If we just quickly go the other way, so decimal to percentage, which we don't have to use as much, but still important. 0.78, what would that be as a percentage? You can call it out. 78%. 2.34, 234%. 0.0006. 0.06%. Good work. All right. What about sorry. Oh, just told you the answer. 0.05. 5%. All right, so this time, what did we do? Good, which is doing what in terms of the mathematical operation? Timesing by 100. Good, we times by 100, which means we move the decimal place 2 places to the right. Any questions? Everyone okay with that? Yeah, so we're all good? Fantastic. All right, so if we actually then are trying to find the percentage of an amount, so if I said, so this is what we're going to write, we're going to say finding the percentage of an amount. That's good, but it'd be good if you're actually writing. Just want you to do like just do one example of each and just the steps, please. Okay. All right. Finding the percentage of an amount. So, for example, what I mean by that is if I asked you, e.g., determine 12% of $83. What's the word of mean? Times. So what's that question actually saying? 12% times 83. So how do we write 12% as a decimal, Luke? Good, we go 0.12 times by 83, and we put that in our calculator. Thank you. Good, and is it dollars? Good, so we go $9.96. Now, with 96 cents, do we round it down to like 95? Because in Australia we have 5 cents, 10 cent pieces? No, why not? Say it again? On a credit card, they still charge you cents, okay? So we always just round to 2 decimal places as single units. So 6 cents is fine there. I think half of class have heard the story about my petrol thing before, but I got stuck once because when you guys go and get petrol when you've got your cars, I don't know if you do it, but if you're paying in cash and so you're getting $50 worth of petrol, you always fill up your tank to $50.02. So you get 2 cents more petrol out of your tank. You don't ever go like $49.99 because then you're missing out on a cent worth of petrol, yeah? So you always go to 2. And if you go over to 3, you have to then go to 7 because you're still getting 5 cents. Now, I got a voucher for a $50 fuel. I think I've told this story a lot of times, but I got a $50 voucher for petrol once, and so I did my same thing, and I went $50.02 because I was like, well, I'm going to make sure I'm a bit stingy and I get all the petrol I'm paying for. And I went up to the guy and I gave him the card and he said, you don't have enough money. And I went, what are you talking about? It's $50. He goes, yeah, but on a card it's $50.02. Okay, so you need to be careful that if you're using a card, he did let me off with the 2 cents. Yeah, but be careful because as soon as you're using a card, they charge you to single cents. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what he ended up doing, but it was very confusing for both of us at the time. Yeah. But be aware of that when you're filling up your tank. If you're paying in cash, make sure you do the 2 cents or the 7 cents or whatever. Don't go. Okay. Fun? Yeah. Oh, that's fine. But if you're paying by a card, same deal anyway. Okay. All right. So, anytime, be careful with that though. Do you need the thing in the shop? And how much more expensive is that thing in the shop compared to if you actually went to like Coles or Woolies or something? So just be careful. If you actually need the thing in the shop and it's cheap, go for it. Okay? Just think. All right. Is everyone okay with being able to find the percentage of an amount? Okay? You need to be aware of that question, like of just means time, and we're just trying, 12% is always going to be less than what the actual amount is. Okay? So if you've got $83, 12% is going to be less than that. Is there an easy way of finding some percentages? Are there some easier percentages to find just in your head? Which ones? All the tens, right? 10%, 20%, 30%, those ones? And then 50, yeah? Why is that? So if I said 10% of $83, does someone know what it is? 8.3, okay? So in the shops, when you go out and you've got a sale and it says like 20% off everything, and you went and found this really awesome jacket and it was $83, and it said 20% off that, how could you work out what the price is without getting out your calculator or without asking your shop assistant? Pardon? Good. So you go $8.30 is 10%. To get 20%, we go times by 2. So you should be able to, even if you didn't specifically say $16.60, you should know 20% is about $16 off. You can go, cool, that's 67 bucks, okay? So in life, you guys want to be able to do that with sales and discounts and things, because often the sales assistants don't know how to do it, okay? And they get out their calculator and sometimes they don't actually put it in right. So you want to know that you're not accidentally getting ripped off because your sales assistant doesn't know any math. Okay? All right. I'm serious. There are a lot of people when I've got into shops who have just asked me for completely the wrong amount because they've put it in there. I'm not saying all sales assistants don't know math. I'm saying that some sales assistants don't know math. All right. Myers does it all on there. You don't have to use a calculator, so it's all good. All right. Okay. Next bit. So I'm not going to do another example of that. You guys should be able to do that. Okay? Percentage increase. Now, when we increase something by a percentage, what sort of things are increased by percentages? So if you actually have savings, you get interest put on. What else? Loans are the other way. You get interest you get interest added on as well. So you're on the right track. Yep. What else? A markup, okay? So in terms of like a shop, they buy things in at their wholesale level, okay? And they mark it up by a certain amount. What's that difference in amount? Where does that money go? That's their profit. It's the money which goes to them. Shops have to put a markup on something because they have to make money. The wholesale price is just what they buy it for. The difference, the markup, is what they get for it, okay? So percentage increase might be like a markup on something. Anything else people can think of? It could be interest on loans or savings, but we'll look at some specific ones of them later. Can anyone think of another one which is sort of on all our goods? GST, okay? So GST is added. And what percentage is GST at the moment in Australia? 10%, and let's hope that it stays that way. So when you go to America, they have goods and services tax, but they don't have it included in the price. So for you guys, when you go and buy a loaf of bread, it costs $2 and it's included in the price. When you go to America, the bread looks cheaper, okay? And it might be like $1.84 or something like that, okay? But then when you get to the actual checkout, they then add on the percentage, okay? So there's a difference between different countries and their GSTs and how it works. All right, what is a goods and services tax? It's 10%. It's a tax on? Good. It's a tax on what they call like luxury items. It's pretty much anything which is packaged, okay? Chocolate would have GST on it, okay? But your necessities aren't. So your fresh fruit and veg doesn't have GST on it, okay? Your meat and things like that doesn't have GST on it. But you probably, pardon? Okay. But I'm not sure about that one, so I'm not going to say yes or no because I don't know. Okay, but great. In terms of things like toilet paper, don't have GST on them. Okay, things which people say are necessities don't have taxes on them. Okay, so that's what your GST is. But pretty much anything packaged will have a GST on it. Also, if you have like an electrician come out, it's a service. Okay, they charge an amount plus GST. If we go and buy like your levers jackets and stuff, it's an amount plus GST, or sometimes GST is included. Okay, some companies for products actually don't include GST in their price. They say it'll cost this much plus GST, which is kind of a bit sneaky in a way, but it's the way it goes. Yeah, let's not talk about that one, okay? All right, so they're all of our examples of a percentage increase. So let's try, let's have a look at what to do. So, for example, if I just say the word increase, we'll use the same numbers as before. Increase $83 by 12%. Increase $83 by 12%. So this time we've still got 12%. And we got $83, just like in our last question. But what have we got to do if it says increase? Alex? Good. You could just add the number which you got before. But there's actually, in terms of doing a procedure, there's an easier way of doing that, because otherwise you'd have to find the amount, add it on every time. Instead, we want to think about what percentage an increase of that is. Nick? Good. If we increase by 12%, we're going to end up with 100%, the whole thing, plus 12%, right? Okay, so for this, we actually end up saying $83 times by 112%, which is 83 times by what as a decimal? 1.12. Okay, so to increase, and someone's going to give me that answer in a second, to increase 92. I should have been able to work that out myself actually. 92.96. Okay. To increase, we add 100% to the percentage and multiply by the amount. That's our step. So very quickly, last example for this, if I said increase $8,002 by 5%, what would our process be? Perfect. So we're saying 105%. And we get our answer, which is? Oh, what? 0.1. Question? All right. And because it's dollars and cents, what should I put on at the end? Also put a 0, just so, because it's 10 cents. Okay? We don't really have 0.1 of a dollar. We have $8,402.10. Okay? Quentin, can you put your feet down, please? All right. Any questions? Okay, let's move on. Percentage decrease. Percentage decrease. What are some examples of when we decrease by a percentage? Good, okay, so a sale or a discount. Okay? Reduction's the same thing. Anything else? In terms of finance, that would usually be about right, okay? So it's mainly those sort of sale questions. All right, so for this one, if I said, we'll use the same question as before. If I said decrease $83 by 12%. Can we just write $83 times by 12%? No, we've already worked that out. That's 12% of it, isn't it? Or was that $8 something? 9. Yeah. Okay. So what do we actually have to do if we want to decrease something by 12%, Yogi? Why are we going to times it by 88%? Yep. Perfect. If we've got our whole amount, it's 100%. If we take 12% from that, how much do we end up with? 88%. So if we times it by 88%, we'll find 88% of it. Okay? So for this, we go 83 times by 100%, take 12%. That's what that process is. We don't have to write that step usually. We're just writing in our notes just this once. Instead, we'd write 83 times by 0.88. If you're decreasing by a percentage, you're always going to be timesing by a number less than 1. So 83 times by 0.88? 73.04. So what did we do here? We take our percentage from 100% and multiply by the amount. Is any of this new to anyone? Good. Okay. We'll just do one more quick example of this. So decrease $890 by 0.5%. Thank you, Josh. All right, so what number do we start with? 890. Good, and as a decimal that would be? 0.995. Okay, remember that if it's a decimal percentage, it's going to be like a pretty small decimal you're taking off. Okay, who wrote 0.95? Anyone? A few people? Yes, they're just not ending up? All right, answer? $885.50. All right. Any questions? All good? All right, last bit to do with this, and then we've just got one last bit. Finding the original amount. And this is probably more likely to be a question you'd get in your 2CD exams. The rest are sort of more revision things you need to know to put into other things. This sort of question often comes up. Okay? So, finding the original amount. So what this question means is like, if you got told what the sale price of something was, you could be able to work out, and you told what percentage it was put down. Can you put it on my desk, please? Doesn't matter. Just turn it off. So, let's do an example of this. Thank you. So, for example, who wants to buy something?
Yep. Yeah. Send to Oyster. Go buy a new phone. Miss, I want to buy something. Bono.
Nick, Nick buys a phone. That's the joke. Get it? Get it? All right. Nick buys a phone which was on sale. For $340. No, after 20% discount. How much did it cost? Before the sale. All right, so what happens here is, you know how we talked about that 20% thing? And a lot of people, what they do is they go, okay, well, 10% of 340 is $34, and they go 20% therefore is, hang on, 68, and they quickly just go, cool, I know that, so it must be 68, so it's $408. And they go, this is easy, it's simple. Is that right, though? Because the problem is with this, and I need everyone to be listening right now, realise there's a few people being a bit silly, okay? It's not 20% off $340. $340 has already had 20% taken, 20% of something else. It's 20% of this unknown amount. What we're pretty much saying is $340 equals our unknown, what we don't know, times by 0.8. Because to get that 340, we did a percentage decrease of 20%. Everyone see that? So we had this amount, which we times by 0.8 to get to 340. So if we're trying to go the other way around, I'll answer you in a second, is that okay? If we're trying to go the other way around, we're trying to find out what x is, what do I actually have to do? What do I have to move? I will keep x by itself, and so therefore I have to move the 0.8. What's it doing to the x right now? It's multiplying. So if I move it to the other side, what's it going to become? Dividing. Now, I'm going to use a divide sign rather than a fraction, which I should use with algebra, but it makes more sense this way. So I could go 340 divided by 0.80 equals x. Question now? It's okay? You're just going to tell me how to do it?
No.
I'm sure you were. All right, so if I'm trying to find the original amount, what do you reckon the rule might be? What did we do here which is different to every other time we've done something? We divide. Every other time we've multiplied, as soon as you're actually trying to find the original amount, we divide by what that percentage is. So has someone got an answer for that?
$425.
Good, so we go $425 equals x. Okay, so we could say the phone cost $425 before that. So try that out. 425 times by 0.8, does that equal 340? Yeah, so we can have a look at it that way. So, to find the original amount, and we're going to do a couple of examples of this. To find the original amount, it's the only time which we divide. We divide by the percentage which we know. So I think where people have the most trouble is actually working out what number we divide by. So we'll do a couple of examples of this. Josh, you right?
Yep.
So e.g., if I said the 30% off sale price was $310. We're trying to, for all these, we're going to try and find the original amount. So I guess find the original amount. If. All right, so if we have a look at 30% sale price, okay, is $310. What percentage of the full amount is $310. It's 70%. That's the bit you need. That's the tricky bit of this. It's 70% of the full amount. Can everyone see that? Because it was 30% off. So therefore, how do I find 100%? 310 divided by 0.70. E.g., GST was added and a... No, just GST. What are we buying?
Chocolate bar, ice cream. Also a packet of snacks. Protein shake, 310.
And a protein shake cost $5. Okay, GST added and a protein shake costs $5. So a protein shake including GST costs $5. Yeah? So what percentage is $5? GST is added. It's 10% added. So what percentage of what you started with is $5? So we've got this protein shake costs this amount of money. We add GST to it, and it costs $5. It's 110%. Can you see how it's 110? We've got 100%. That's how much the protein shake costs. Plus we added 10%. So that's where people get stuck. Okay, it's 110%. So therefore, how do we find? We're going to do a few examples of this so you can get it. Okay, we go $5 divided by not 0.9. What's the percentage? 1.10. It's 110%. If I divide by 110%, I get what 100% is. If you divide by 11, you get what 10% is. If you divide by 11 times by 10, you'd be right. All right, what about, I'm just going to say, an investment increased by 13% and was worth $10 million. Okay? How much did we start with? If it increased by 13% and so it was worth this after that. I almost say after the increase was worth. So what percentage was the $10 million? Say it again. It's 1.13. If we go 87, we're finding 13% of the 10 million. We're not adding on 13% of what we started with. So that's where people get stuck. You need to think, what percentage is this? It's 1.13. So how do I find the original amount? We go 10 million divided by 1.13. The sale price, 25% off of some socks was $8.50. What was the original price? So remembering, what is the percentage we've got now? Oops, sorry. The sale price. We've got 75% of it, yeah? So what do we do to find the answer? $8.50 divided by 0.75. Can everyone see what we're doing? It's a practice thing. All right, everyone okay with that now? It's just a practicing of working out like what is it? What percentage is that amount? All right, last bit. Working out. What are the words for this? No, it's just not. It's not the increase bit. Let's see what words I used last time. So I didn't do it last time. No. All right. So working out. I'm just going to write like working out a percentage. It's not a percentage of an amount. It's more just a percentage. So, e.g., a test mark. Or how many of something. How many of one thing there is in a group. Okay, so for this, I'm going to say like e.g., Luke got 53 marks out of 62. What's his percentage? Okay, so how do we find this? You guys all know how to do this. This way, we go 53 over 62 times by 100. What's the answer, Yogi? Okay, so this is about actually being able to find a percentage. Okay, so there's also questions which might say like, e.g., who has a collection of something? Pokemon cards. Okay, Josh has how many Pokemon cards? Okay, 98 Pokemon cards. We're not actually doing it out of 100. Are there any specific like group? I don't know Pokemon cards. I don't care. Are there groups within Pokemon cards? They're like colours, or are there types, or is there something? 4 different ones. Is it? Can you pick one of them? What type? Say that again. Water. Okay. So let's say 33 of them are water cards. Doesn't really matter, does it? Okay. Hey, Josh owns, 98 Pokemon cards. 33 of them are water cards. Okay. What percentage of his cards are water cards? Shush. All right. So how do we find this out? How do we find out? We go times by 100, which is percent. Oh, what was it? I'd always go 2 decimal places. 6, 7, sorry. Just go in 2 decimal places. All right, so how did we do this? Just quick steps. So you got your chosen amount, so whatever you're looking at, divided by what? Your total times by 100. That's your answer. Everyone okay with our start of finance? Yep. Next lesson, we're going to do like simple interest, compound interest. As I went through, this is something which I learnt while I was making your revision booklets, is that there's a lot of tax questions in your ATAR exams. Every year there seems to be a tax one. So we're going to spend at least a lesson next week really focusing on those tax tables. Okay? Hang on.